Stacey Lawton was arrested by Nashua police on Thursday.
She was charged with 4 counts of disseminating child sex images.
So I wonder how New Hampshire voters are feeling after the arrest of Stacey Lawton. And that's not Stacey's first arrest. Stacey was first elected to the New Hampshire State House as a rep in 2012, and then elected 3 times after that, but resigned twice because of legal troubles. Oh, and by the way, Stacey is a biological male. Stacey was the first transgender person elected to the New Hampshire State House in the state's history, I guess. But now Stacey is facing trouble because I don't want to misgender anybody, she was arrested for disseminating child sex images. And from what I understand, it wasn't just child sex images, it was basically child abuse. And she was arrested along with a woman named Linda Groves, who works at a daycare center. Lindsay Groves, I'm sorry. And Lindsay was charged with taking sexual photos of children while working at a daycare center. And I talk about this because this is another example of LGBTQIA2+ people doing something disgusting.
Digging deeper now, Lawton first made headlines in 2012 for being the first transgender person to win a New Hampshire State House election. But the Democrat didn't take office after the Ballot Law Commission learned of 2 felony credit card fraud convictions from 2008. Then, in 2015, Lawton was accused of calling in a bomb threat to a hospital. And in 2022, was convicted of texting 911 during non-emergencies. Lawton was also arrested in 2022 on that stalking charge related to a Facebook post. Lawton has been elected to the State House 3 times but resigned twice because of legal troubles.
I did a story months ago about a couple who were big LGBT advocates who were arrested for abusing their own children. Now, this came to light, and this person has been in trouble in the past, but nothing as disgusting as this had happened in the past. She was arrested for making 911 calls for non-emergencies, calling in bomb threats. But now this person is charged with child sex crimes, not physically, not abusing children, but disseminating photographs. So here we go again. Another LGBTQ person. They want to live their life as a woman, so be it. The voters of New Hampshire thought that this person was good enough to represent them, and this person was elected to the New Hampshire House, but basically could not take office because of legal troubles. Then was elected 3 more times after the legal troubles came to light. So I have to imagine that Stacey came off like a really good person who just had a troubled past and wanted to get around it or get by it and move on. So the voters said, let's give Stacey another chance and let's put her back in the State House. And lo and behold, she had to resign twice and today does not hold office. What is going on with these people? They claim that they're being discriminated against. They claim that they have less rights than everybody else. They claim that they can't just go about their business and live their true selves. Well, Stacey was allowed to live her true self. So much so that voters thought the same thing. There's nothing wrong that if he thinks he's a woman, then okay. Seems like a legit person. Let's put her in the State House to help us. Well, there was no help for them. Every election, there was no help for them. And it certainly won't be any more help for the voters from Stacey because Stacy should be, in my opinion, locked up where she belongs. Disseminating child sex images, especially images of child abuse, from what they're saying, is a heinous, disgusting, despicable, I can't think of any more words, crime. Along with the person who Stacy was accused of stalking, that's one of the legal problems, this Lindsay Groves, whom Stacy said was her wife back in the day. These two people do not belong in a civil society, especially Groves, who was working in a daycare. Parents are outraged and want to know the truth, but will they ever really know the truth?
Parents are outraged and want answers.
When things like this come out, you just start questioning everything.
With the photographs, it's not so much that I want to see it, but I just want to know how involved and entangled my daughter is with it. That I don't know if I'll get those.
Do they even want to see the images, especially if their children are involved? That's how disgusting this is. But they deserve answers. They deserve to know what Lindsay and Stacy were doing, how they were doing it, and most certainly why they were doing it, other than they're sick people. This is not something somebody just decides to do. This is something that they've done again and again, but this time they got caught. And that's the case in most sex crime cases with children. I've seen all too many in my line of work. They have no remorse. They think they're doing nothing wrong, and they do not care about the safety and well-being of children. This is all about their sick, perverted minds, or to make money from all the other sick, perverted people in this world who want to view trash like that. So, like I said in my last video about the South Boston incident, will the LGBTQ community come out and protest against Stacy Lawton, the transgender woman, for being accused of such a heinous crime? Will they come out and protest and say, this is not what we're about, this is not what transgender women do? Probably not. Because again, when something bad happens to someone who trans, the rest of them just back away from it. They don't want to be associated with it. Because what it does is makes them all look bad. It makes them all look like they have something wrong in their head. Okay? A lot of people think that when grown men decide they're women, all of a sudden, what's a regular person think? Yeah, something's wrong with that person. And that's not necessarily true, I would imagine. And I don't know how many times I can say this. Live your life the way you want to live it. Why do you gotta harm children? Why do you gotta get kids involved? Kids do not understand, nor should they understand, this type of behavior. So all I can hope is that Stacy gets convicted of this disgusting crime, along with Lindsay Groves, and they do some jail time, some serious jail time, because that's what they deserve. But I have to wonder, because we've seen this in a lot of states lately, that a transgender woman is put in a women's prison even though they're a biological male, which is wrong, but that's what they do now. So if that happens, so be it. They'll still be in prison. People need to just get on board with this and stop this nonsense. No one cares that you call yourself something else. No one cares how you live your life. But when we start caring is when children get hurt or abused. Even if it's photographs, that child is being abused, especially because of the alleged disgusting nature of the photographs that Stacy Lawton was disseminating. I really don't understand. I don't understand how politicians can be on board with this. And let me make a disclaimer. This is not the entire community. This shouldn't reflect on every transgender person, because I'm pretty certain that they are not like Stacy. But there are those out there in this community that are like Stacy and are probably, maybe, doing kind of the same thing, but just haven't been discovered yet. But I really want this community to come out in force against disgusting crimes like this, because that may make people see that they're just regular people just living a different lifestyle. Come out against it. Tell people how wrong you think it is that children are being harmed, are getting involved with people like this. That may sway people's thoughts to know that this community isn't all bad. Because I don't believe they're all bad. But when you see stories like this, it makes you wonder. The protests are many lately. They're out there showing what they're about, flying their flags, complaining that they can't get this, that, or the other thing. But when a crime is committed by one of them, they're nowhere to be heard. Kind of like BLM. If a white police officer is involved with something with a black man, BLM comes out of the woodwork. But when black kids are killing black kids in inner cities like Chicago, BLM is nowhere to be found. It's the same thing. So make yourself known that you don't condone this kind of behavior. Because if you don't, then it makes people wonder, well, do they really care that members of their community are doing this? They should care, because it's wrong and it needs to stop. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It's disgusting, disgusting behavior that people need to just stop your nonsense. Just go live your life. Leave children alone. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, share this video with someone. Excuse me, I'd appreciate that. And I hope you're all healthy and safe. And I'll see you soon. Have a great night.